The galaxy is growing.
You ready for an adventure?
We're dreaming big.
Is that Neverland?
Walking with giants.
This is amazing.
Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. We do this every month. Once a month I do this. I see an ad on YouTube, one that has just appeared to me organically. I haven't gone out and looked, sought it out, and there it is. It's a cool ad. I think, I'm going to read that this month. And in the beginning, this is month 30, by the way, month 30 of me doing this. In the beginning, I used to do a lot more. Now I've just tried to make it manageable. Let's just do one ad a month. And this month I saw an ad for Disney Plus, their campaign called Big in April. Big in April. It's a 30. I saw this about 7 or 8 days ago, and I thought this is going to be perfect. So here's the script. And I'm going to move over because there's a lot of stuff going on here, and I'll talk about all of this stuff. It begins with a 1.5 second music intro, and it's high energy music. And I put the script kind of on the left a little bit, and on the right, you're going to see a lot of brackets and a lot of content in italics, and I'll explain what all of this stuff is. But let's talk this through here. Let's talk this through. This month, I put a little caret after a month, and the caret is kind of the up thing, and it's on your keyboard. It's above the numbers. I have to look. It's above the number 6. This month, it tells me to give a lift or a rise, and typically when they say a date, this summer, next week, it's an invitation. I learned this years ago, and so they put a little bit of a lift on there. This month. And then here we go, on the right, in italics. It's 1 second of what's called SOT. And to teach a little terminology, SOT stands for sound on tape. Sound on tape. And oftentimes it's the actor or an excerpt from the actual show, and they're saying something. And so you hear a voice on screen, and you actually see them, and they say, "What is this place?" So these are excerpts from specific shows on the Disney Plus network, and so that's what happens within that 1 second SOT, sound on tape. And again, I put it in italics. I put it off to the right. Sometimes it's formatted differently. Sometimes it's just like stacked. You get dialogue and then SOT underneath, and then dialogue and then SOT. For the sake of my formatting today, I just put stuff on the right and in italics. Sometimes you get the script as all caps, and then SOT direction is kind of italics. I've seen it formatted different ways, but whatever makes sense to you, and I want to make sure to take time and explain what's going on here. Second line, we're going big. And he said big, male voiceover, big. And so I put big in all caps. And then, so throughout this music, there's actually vocals in this music. So one thing I was taught from my days in radio is if you're using music underneath your voice, you have to find music that doesn't have singing, unless the intention is to kind of interweave your vocals in between the singing. So when you're speaking, the person is not singing, and then when you stop, the vocals come up. I used to watch, when I was an intern in radio, I watched the creative director mix concert spots, commercials for an upcoming music event, and he would take the vocal hook, and then he would record his line, but he would position it so right when he finished his vocal intro, the singing came up. And the first time I saw him do that, like a switch went off. Wow, that's cool. I'd never seen that before. So that's kind of what's going on here. We're going big. And then you hear the vocals, big, 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 big things are coming. The galaxy is growing. I put is in a capital I because he hit that word too. The galaxy is growing. And then sound on tape. You ready for an adventure? I think it's the Mandalorian talking to Grogu. You ready for an adventure? And then we're dreaming big. I put dreaming in all caps because to my ear, it felt like that word had a little more billboarding on it. And then again, sound on tape. Two young boys flying around, 2 young characters. Is that Neverland? There's a lot going on here, and it'll make sense when you see it in context. Walking with giants. Walking is in all caps. Again, that word was kind of billboarded a little more, and there's a little bit of a pause after walking, so I put a couple of spaces, 3 or 4 spaces. Walking with giants. Sound on tape. One person says, "Isn't this amazing?" And then another person says, imagine the possibilities. Two different people for that SOT. They call that SOT or SOT. I've always known it as SOT, but I guess you can call it SOT as well. And making big moves. Now this 4-second SOT, I'm going to do my best to try and keep the timing intact, but maybe in post I'll kind of move things around a little bit so it fits better. 4-second sound on tape. We go hard, just like we always have. That's one person speaking. And then after that actuality, that person speaking, a young person speaking to another person on the, I think it's basketball or basketball team. The vocals come in. Big things coming. Oh, yeah. And then you jump in. This month, again with the caret after month lift. This month, ... big things are coming. Big things are coming. So right after you say big things are coming, the vocal hook comes in. And then what's a little tricky with this one is, so the vocal hook, she's singing big, and then you jump in with the tag at the end to Disney Plus. And then there's what's called a stinger at the end, or a sting, music sting. And that usually means after you're done speaking, there's some kind of accent that happens. Sometimes it's a percussive hit or an orchestra hit or the last chord on whatever instrument. So, when I think about this particular spot, I mean, did the voice talent read this live in between all this constructed cinematography, or did they give the lines and then they put them in? I mean, you can do them both ways. So you as a voice talent, you can arrive and so the picture is already set and you have deliberate timing to get in there and, on an all new person of interest, you have only X amount of time to get in there and do it. Other times you can submit the lines or read the lines and then they'll take that and they'll kind of position things around you. It's done both ways. My guess is for this particular production that the voice talent provided lines individually, and then they brought that into the production and made it fit. This is just my guess. Of course, I could ask my colleague at Disney Plus, how is this assembled? So another reason why I liked this spot is that it's presentational voice. So it's meant to be exciting and kind of, again, larger than life. It's a little different than what we did last month with the tax spot, where it was just kind of relaxed and delicate. This one is a little more overt and determined. It feels like show business. It feels there's a certain grandeur, there's a certain excitement. It's not over the top monster truck or for wrestling. But it's also not conversational, touchy-feely, relaxed, whispery. So it's a little more of an elevated performance, and that's why I saw this and I thought this is going to be perfect. I'll also tell you, I recognize right away, I'm not at 100% right now. My voice isn't 100%, but I'm going to do this anyway, which tells me I know that after I record this and put it out there 2 months ago, I'll listen to this and my voice will be I'm like, oh, I should have done it then. That's okay. Do the best you can. I've been doing this enough, knowing that a little way down the road, I'm going to hear what I just did a couple months ago, and I think, oh, I have a better way of doing it, or I can do it so much better now. That's good. So I'm just going to do this, put it out there, warts and all, knowing that my voice isn't 100% today. Kind of allergy stuff going on. That's okay. So again, let's read this through. It's a 30-second, but I'm not going to put a timer up. I'm doing a lot of talking today. Here we go. 1.5 seconds of music intro. So I'm just going to count that to myself. This month, we're going big. The galaxy is growing. Ready for an adventure? We're dreaming big. Is that Neverland? Walking with giants. Isn't this amazing? Imagine and making big moves. Look, my eyes are big all throughout this. Big moves. And feel free and use your hands if it helps to kind of, again, elevate your performance. Making big moves. For a second. We go hard, just like we always have. This month, big things are coming to Disney Plus. Let's do it one more time. I'm gonna try and be a little smoother with all this stuff. 1.5 second music intro. This month, we're going big. The galaxy is growing. The galaxy is growing. That's what it was. The galaxy is growing. I have to remind myself. I put capital I on is because he hit the word is. He didn't say the galaxy is growing. He said the galaxy is growing. The galaxy is growing. We're dreaming big. It's all larger than life, presentational, magnificent. Walking with giants. A little more of a space. Walking with giants. Isn't this amazing? And making big moves. This month, big things are coming to Disney Plus. This month, big things are coming to Disney Plus. After he said big things are coming, he didn't lift on that last word. Big things are coming. So he lifted on month. This month. There you go. So kind of a lift, an invitation, an anticipation, just like in music, call and response, tension and resolution. This month, big things are coming to Disney Plus. Put the gusto on that last line. Big things are coming to Disney Plus. Gusto. Does anybody under 40 use the word gusto? I don't think so. Let's try this. Oh my gosh, we're coming on 13, 14 minutes already. Okay, let's do this. 1.5 second music intro. This month, we're going big. The galaxy is growing. We're dreaming big. Walking with giants. I don't like all that. Walking with giants, and then the galaxy is growing. I kind of missed that. So do I edit this out, or I'm going to leave it in. The galaxy is growing. That's what I meant to say. The galaxy is growing. From the top again. This month, we're going big. The galaxy is growing. That still feels weird to me. The galaxy is growing. There we go. The galaxy is growing. 1, 2, 3. Top. This month,
What is this place?
we're going big. The galaxy is growing.
You ready for an adventure?
We're dreaming big.
Is that Neverland?
Walking with giants.
This is amazing.
Imagine possibilities.
And making big moves.
Go hard, just like we always have.
This month, big things are coming to Disney Plus. Get in focus. There we go. There's my catchphrase. I'm not even going to say it. I almost said it. Okay, that's a lot of talking today. That's a lot of explaining. But I was looking forward to doing this. And again, no disclaimers. I know, I'm not 100% today. That's okay. I did my best. I feel good about it. I could do this tomorrow and probably do it even better, but I want to try and get this out on time, month 30. Let's talk about something different. I took a class this past weekend with another VO coach. And someone I've never taken this person's class before. I had heard good things about them. I'm aware of them. I've been aware of them for a while. And I thought, okay, let's take this person's class. And here's the cool thing. Yes, I learned things. I took notes, and it was. I enjoy being a student in someone else's class for the sake of being a student and learning things, but also as an instructor. It's for me, it's fascinating to see how other instructors. I don't want to say how they run their class. It's to me, it's fascinating. And I'm always a student. I'm always trying to learn. But here's one of the cool things that happened this weekend. I was nervous, and I recognized that, oh my gosh, okay, so here I am. I'm with this voice coach. He's accomplished and done things that you've heard of. And I thought, oh, okay, I've never had this experience working with this person before, so I'm a little nervous. And then there are other participants, other voice talent watching you, which sometimes can be a little anxiety provoking. Not so much for me necessarily. I've been on stage with the band forever, so I'm used to kind of an audience. But when I recognized that I was nervous, I felt it, and I thought, oh, I haven't had this feeling in a while. And I don't mean to be arrogant in saying that. I actually want to show humility here. That I recognized that I was nervous, and I got excited because, in a good way, because I thought I'm nervous because this is an opportunity for me to do something I've never done before, and either it'll go awful or it'll go great, and that's okay too. If it goes awful, we'll try it again, and hopefully it'll be better. Personally, it went great, and so that was exciting and that was good. But this feeling of being nervous reminds me, it should remind you that this is an opportunity to grow, to evolve, to better yourself, to do something you haven't done before. So it is a challenge, and it is these little moments that make life worthwhile, that make life interesting. And so I thought, a couple times a year, I enjoy being a student in someone else's class. There are a couple of other VO coaches whose class I take, and maybe I'm not so nervous in that class because I've had the experience of being in their class before. Again, this past weekend, someone new. I'd never met this person. I'd never been in their class before. And again, I was nervous. And I look back at that and I think, oh, that was kind of cool. I like that. And even if it went south, even if it went bad, that's okay too, because sometimes sometimes it rains, and that's okay. And like anything, it will pass. The good stuff passes, the bad stuff passes. Try and be in the moment and enjoy the experience. Okay. One last thing. I wanted to jump back on this Disney Plus script. I read these YouTube ads for the fun of it. I also because I enjoy seeing my progress as the months go by. I love going back to last April and watching my performance and look, I couldn't do that back then, or I would do it differently. It's kind of this video journaling of my own progress these last 30 months. I don't specifically read these ads hoping that Nestle is going to hire me, or Quaker Oats, or I want to be the voice. Yes, it would be fun to be the voice of whatever car dealership, but that's not my motivation. That's not where I'm coming from. When I was a kid learning guitar, I had posters on my wall of all these musicians I admired, and I was never motivated by, I want to be famous like this person or have all kinds of money like this person. I just enjoyed playing guitar. It was fun. And so that really, I was thinking about this earlier today, that really is my motivation when I record these things. I enjoyed doing them. And I think really as a creative person, you have to be careful to not try and please your audience. I hope you watch this and enjoy it, but really, you're getting a little psychological on you today. Really, I do this to appease myself. It's the creative, staying in touch with my own creativity is one of the things that keeps me sane. It keeps me feeling like I'm active and doing something cool. I'm not really playing with the band as much these days, and actually so my band was 5 people, and a lot of those people have kind of moved on to different projects. And so I know that if I came back to the band, it wouldn't be the same because it's a different group of people, and that's okay. For me personally, I have to make sure that I'm connected to my creativity some way, and doing these monthly videos is part of that. So for you, as a creative person, stay connected to your creativity, even if it's not VO, whatever it is. And also, yes, it's nice to be paid to do things. We all have bills. We all have more guitars we want to buy. But really, the motivation for me has almost always been the enjoyment of it, the fun of it, the experience of it. I'd never go into a job thinking, Okay, here's something I'm going to tell I would tell my college students, and I'm going to wrap this up. So whenever I had a choice between two jobs, here's one job that pays really, really, really well, but I'm not really that crazy about it. And here's one that maybe pays half as much, but I love the work. Oh my gosh, I get excited going to work. I always went this way. I always went toward the work that I loved. And the idea is go with what you love and the money will follow. I always went this way. I guess I'm fortunate because I had the option to do that. And then what happens is that I go this way. I love this work. I do such a great job that eventually I get paid just as much as if I would have went this way. And then I'm a happier person because work, it doesn't feel like work. It feels like fun. And again, I should call this video fun. So that's the motivation for me. Okay, this is one of my longer videos, and I hope that's okay with you. Thanks for hanging with me. I appreciate your support. Speak to you soon.